Hello and welcome to another video. This time with a review for Tainted Grail, the fall of Avalon before 100%. Now, this game plays in Avalon. It's a fantasy world. You are infected at first in an asylum, then you're getting freed, you bust out, and then you start to explore a world. Handcrafted, there is no AI, no procedural generation. It's a really nice looking world. So far, it reminded me very heavily of Enderal, so Skyrim mod. Not directly Skyrim, there is some major differences in terms of how the game is built, how enemies interact, how NPCs interact with you, how the developers want you to engage with the world. So if you're looking for an Oblivion or Skyrim experience, look more towards something like a Gothic experience or Enderal experience, something like that. The combat is also really nice and really engaging. Spellcasting feels absolutely amazing. It's magnificent. It's one of the best implementations for that. Bow gameplay or archery is also really nice. You have differences between bows, so some of them work differently, behave differently, so there is variety there. Melee combat, you can also dip into a sword and shield playstyle, unhanded playstyle. You can dual wield, you can single wield, you can parry, or you can just heavy bonk. There is even a weapon that's called Big Bonk. It's basically just a charge stick. So charge up the attack, boom, enemies are dead. Really cool weapon, really simple for those that want that. Now, as far as the technical state goes, this game performs really well. I have not had any performance dips, even on the highest settings with my setup. I personally have a mid-range setup from 30 series, so it's a little bit dated, but still it performs really well. The only dips I have experienced are when saving the game, but I reported that issue, so they are aware of it, possibly working on a fix. So that's the only thing that you need to worry about. Now, story and world building. I think the story is unique. I have not played enough of it yet to really get a good grasp on what I should think about it. It's more like I'm interested, intrigued. I want to explore it a little bit, but I'm still cautious. There is a little bit too much mystery right now to really get a good thought out of it. Now, as far as the world building goes, everything is really amazing. I think the dialogue, how NPCs behave towards you, how they talk to you. It's a little bit slapsticky sometimes, but it has its own charm. There is nothing that took me out completely out of the game, but sometimes I thought, oh, well, maybe tone it down a little bit towards how the world itself is designed. There is a lot of ruins. There is a lot of destroyed property, a flooded village, some ruined towers, an arena, and so on and so forth. You will find multiple bandit camps, multiple NPCs scattered throughout the world that talk to you and are not hostile towards you. So you will find living, breathing people out there. So that's really, really nice. However, what I didn't like is that NPCs just don't move around too much. They don't engage in, activities that are not built towards quests or not built towards engaging with you. There's also very little NPCs in the hub. So most of the time there's just soldiers, nothing in between for like farmers or anything like that. But it's possible that it's just the early part of the game. Maybe towards Camelot I will find more. As for the difficulty of the game is, well, I would say rather easy. I am currently crushing with multiple builds. I will showcase you multiple. An archer build, a big bonk build, and a spellcaster build with detailed descriptions where to find items for them, how to play them, and how to use them. And all of them just completely obliterate the game. So I personally think basically everything can work. There is a lot of build variety, but I will go into that a little bit later. The difficulty is also tied to the combat. You have a dash, you can block. There is a different weight loadout. So if you're playing on light armor, you basically only have benefits. Then there is medium armor, that's the neutral one. And then there is heavy armor. You, well, have only drawbacks. So you can reduce the weight of heavy armor towards 0 even, but you can reduce this and everyone is basically playing always on a light loadout, maybe on a medium loadout. So heavy loadout, I personally think they should introduce some benefit to having one. Like, for example, more defenses to make it a little bit more nuanced. But otherwise, basically, the game is very easy, even on the hardest difficulty. Now, as far as progress and build customization goes, there is a lot of stuff to discover. Multiple weapons with unique effects, multiple armor sets and accessories, and there is also relics with unique effects. You can specialize a ton in this game, especially since a lot of items have restrictions on how to use them. Like for example, for one weapon, 5 in that stat, 5 in the next one, 5 in the next one, so 15 stats in total. You're level 20, so you're probably only pigeonholed into that specific thing. You're going to specialize in that build. There is but another weapon that is also very interesting. So you want to dibble into that? Well, tough luck. You would need to respec and then dibble into that. But you will also find weapons that are tailored towards being usable with that stat block. So you can change that. There is also a potion that is very often found. I think I found in the first zone 6 and in the second zone, so towards, I think, 4. That should give you an idea. So you can freely, if you find something that interests you, you can freely respec and then use that. But if you already specced into something and then want to dibble into a different part of the skill tree or a different part of a toolset, well, you need to be creative with that or completely respec. Now, as mentioned before, you can decrease the weight of armor. So that opens up a lot of build variety because sometimes armor is extremely heavy. So you're going to focus your resources towards that specific item. Well, you can actually farm sharpening stones, so that's not an issue. But as I already mentioned, you progress in one line and then have to brute force it into another path if you want that. For the side quests, most side quests will display a marker on the map. So you just walk up to the marker, clear the quest, and then you're golden. Some quests require you to read a little bit or look for a small puzzle, but there is nothing that really struck out to me to be difficult in acquiring information. Not much in terms of puzzle strength here. It's mostly just kill something, find something, or quest for something. It's more linear. But if you want to be a little bit more challenged with difficult puzzles, well, you're out of luck. This game doesn't provide that. Now, to sum up the positives, the game has great music, handcrafted environments, good exploration, amazing world design, good voice acting and fun dialogue. Some of it really made me laugh. A unique story, which I cannot talk too much about right now. And the combat feels great and a bit like Doom. I don't know, I think the speed and just walking around with the shotgun ice spell gave me that impression. Then you have the negatives, which, well, the world lags a little bit in the life part. I just wish there were more NPCs with quests or without quests or any purpose. So that is lacking. Then there is too many fast travel points that devalues the world a little bit because I was just constantly teleporting from one point to the next instead of just walking around, except when I was farming. Then the game also gets very easy, very fast. You crush the game basically on any build in the highest difficulty with a bit of optimization. If you don't optimize, it will be harder for melee builds, but ranged builds, no problem. So to give you a conclusion, I highly recommend this game if you are looking for some more janky stuff towards Gothic or Enderal. If you're looking for something like Skyrim or Oblivion, it's a mix of all of that. With a unique story, it's grimdark fantasy, it's just edgy, it's just dark, it's just crushing your soul on every possible occasion, and there is also a lot of fun through dialogue and well, the writing. Combat is also extremely engaging, really like it, especially ranged combat with magic and archery. Melee combat can be a little bit dull, especially since enemies hit you very hard. And as mentioned before, puzzling in this game is a little bit toned down, so you don't need to think too much about it. Some quests require that from you, but not many. Now, this sums up the video. If you liked what you saw, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. So thank you very much for watching and see you next time. Bye.